and I have been I kept Toastmasters for the last 2.5 years. Due to some professional commitments, I had to take a break from the meetings, in-person meetings, and the reason was those meetings are held on Thursdays in the evening. So I was looking out for a club which had meetings on the weekend. So today I'm here to experience the charm of an Organic Toastmasters Club in person, and I think I'm going to probably move my membership from ICAP to an Organic Toastmasters.
So may you see the difference of joining the Toastmasters, like how compared to you. So that's right. Now we have another guest. My name is Anish Mitchell. I've done electrical engineering from Concept Institute. I was doing job in technology for more than 1 year, and due to Corona, the office was shut down. Then I moved to my field, which I was doing from 2016, which is freelancing, and I recently joined blogging. I was searching for a platform which can give you a good communication skill. So Mr. Soeb has advised me to join this session, so I'm here. Hope I'm hoping that it will be good. Definitely. Yes, so now I would like to hand over the meeting to one of my favorite Toastmasters. And when it comes to valuation, I must say he is the best. With a huge round of applause, none other than Toastmaster Arthur Knight. Thank you, Mr. President, for that very kind introduction. I'll start with a very familiar question. How many of you want to be good public speakers? Raise your hand. What did I ask? Okay, now I'll ask you a not so familiar question. Why? Why do you want to become a good public speaker? Anyone?
Basically, public speaking is something you can say like it's a skill, communication skills, right? So it really helps you a lot. Like you can say the industry that I am in, I'm working as you can say business developer, right? So in this industry, you meet a lot of people. You need to train them. You need to engage with them. So this is something that I understand. This is something that's going to help you a lot in order to improve your communication skills.
You have to
People have knowledge and they have to share it.
They have to share. They don't know the skill, they don't know the art of communicating their thoughts. That is why education is.
That's a very good. Next Toastmaster.
Very important part of your strategy, how you can create your message. You learn that.
Thank you. So you will get many perspectives on this question. But if you look at those answers closely, I believe there is a very fundamental, ubiquitous reason why people should be good in public speaking and in communication skills. Now, when I was in my early teens on my PlayStation 1, I don't know if anyone remembers PlayStation 1, I used to play this game called the Smurfs Village. Now, if you don't know this cartoon, this is a village of very cute, tiny blue people. And they are very close and very friendly with one another. And the point of this game was to ensure the betterment of this community. And as a citizen, if the community needed something, for example, the community had a flu, I had to go and get some medicine. If there was a monster trying to threaten the community, I had to go and kill that monster. Whenever they needed something, I had to go and bring it to them. And on these missions, I would accumulate gifts. And when I would interact with the citizens, I had the option to give them those gifts. So if a girl is skipping rope in the street, I can give her a gift. If an old man asks about my well-being, I can give him a gift. And that contributed to the overall score of the betterment and happiness of the community. And I believe This is one of the best analogies of why public speaking is important. See, as you go on in your lives, with your upbringing, with your maturity, with your endeavors, you accumulate certain gifts. And you can, these gifts can be your ideas, maybe your skill set, maybe your knowledge, like you said, and you can share these gifts with the world. Like written by Mahatma Gandhi, my life is my message. Similarly, your lives are your unique messages. Be very sure of this, that the life that you will live will never, ever be lived ever again. And the reason why you are experiencing this uniqueness, this unique perspective, makes it incumbent upon you to share this uniqueness with the world. The world needs this, and this is why you are here. As said in a poem by Tara Moore, which was shared by me, another gift that was shared by me by our very own Toastmaster Meher. The world was made with a U-shaped hole in it. In this way, you are important. In this way, you are here to make the world. In this way, you have been called. So one of the best things that you can do in your life is to find your message and find the voice to express it to the world. This is probably the most important thing that you can do. So whenever you have an opportunity to improve your public speaking, whenever you come to a meeting, whenever you have a role, whenever you collaborate, whenever you come on this stage, this is literally a step towards your self-actualization. So when you come here, own this moment, own your voice, and express it fully. And today we have a very, very special meeting, because today we don't have one, not two, not three, but 7 unique voices sharing 7 exemplary messages. And that will be evaluated by 7 expert evaluators. So ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for Rawalpindi Toastmasters' 3rd ever Speakathon? I didn't feel that energy. Can we try that again? Are you ready for RTC's 3rd ever Speakathon? Yes! That's more like. So I'll explain. So before we start with the speeches, I will introduce the role players who are responsible for the smooth running of this meeting. I will introduce them and they have to explain their role to the audience. So our first role player will be that of timer, which will be played by Toastmaster Anu Ilyas. Toastmaster Anu, can you explain your role?
So yes, my role as a timer, I will keep track of time of all speakers. I will show green card when the speaker have qualified the speech time, and I will show yellow card when your time is up, and I will show you red card when your time is up. So at the end of the meeting, I will come back and I will provide a report of all speakers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anand. Our next role will be that of our founder, Toastmaster Rashid. Can you explain this?
Thank you, Toastmaster and guests. I listen to speak very carefully, and when I hear anyone say to and so, or if not any other transfer, such as you know, I mean, etc., I will ring the bell immediately, make sense to me, etc. The only time I will not ring the bell is during the previous. However, at all times I will keep the record of the number of times each person utters the syllables, and I will report that then called upon by the general evaluator near the end of the meeting. Even after giving my report, I will continue to make the bell.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rashid. Our next role will be played will be of grammarian, which will be played by Toastmaster Rihanna. Toastmaster Rihanna, can you explain the role?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Atif. Dear fellow Toastmasters, as a grammarian, my job is to listen to all of you carefully. I will note down extraordinary use of English language by the speakers. I will also note down any mistakes in the use of English language. And I will also like to introduce our word of the week. Word of the week is agile. Agile is an adjective. It means someone who is able to move quickly. And it also means someone who has a mind that thinks quickly and intelligently. She has an ordinarily agile mind. Today, we are going to listen to 7 agile, diligent Toastmasters. I encourage all of you to use agile in your responses. Over to you, Toastmaster Atif.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rama. Our final role will be that of board founder, which will be played by Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmaster and guests, during the meeting, we will vote for the best favorite speaker and the best evaluator in the winner of the victory. For that, I'll distribute the voting slip around the room and I'll collect it on the end. And I'll present my report to the president at that. Over to you.
So this is how this session is going to play out. I'm going to call the speaker and their evaluator. Their evaluator will explain the speech objectives. After that, I will introduce the speaker on stage and they can give their speech. So our first speaker for the evening is Toastmaster Sway, whose speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Laiba. Toastmaster Laiba, can you explain the speech objectives?
Yes, sure. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Am I visible? Am I audible?
Yes.
Toastmaster of the evening, can you please confirm that I'm visible and audible?
Toastmaster Laiba, you are audible and visible.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rehan. So today, Toastmaster Shoaib is going to deliver his speech from level 2 project 3 from the pathway presentation master. The title of his speech is Importance of Mentor in Life. The purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring and to share some aspects of previous experience as a protege. Mr. Timer, kindly note that the time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. Wishing you all the best, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Laiba. So this speaker is a very quick learner and a motivated speaker. He's a radio engineer at Jazz and he's the VP membership of our club. With a huge round of applause, please welcome Toastmaster Sway.
Thank you, Toastmaster Atif, for such a nice introduction. So, fellow Toastmaster and guests, how many of you believe that making a mistake in life is very, you said that, how many of you believe that life is too short to make a mistake? Please raise your hand. Okay. So generally, when we talk about the successful people, so two kind of scenarios or the mindset that comes in here. The first one is the common. When you look at the successful people, the first thing is that they make a lot of mistakes higher than the average people, and then learn from their mistake and prove them as a stepping stone towards achievement. So while the second kind of the people who have a belief that we are living in a very fast, dynamic world where we don't have a time to make a mistake. So it's better to learn from the mistake of the others in order to get the success in a shorter time. So, but the point is that how are we going to learn from the mistake of the others? So anyone, do you have ideas that how we can learn from the others? Yes?
By reading more books.
Exactly. Anyone? Exactly. The top 3 methods that you can learn from the mistake of the others. That is the first, reading the book. Author shared his or her experience about the life, and that may be relevant in your life. The second one, is the observation skills. Whenever you sit in your workplace or social setting, so you will notice one thing common, that the successful people have a very high observation skills. And the last one that is very important and critical, that is the mentor. Even if you get a chance to step in the office of any corporate office and you're lucky to ask a question from CEOs and ask about what are the 3 traits or secrets of your success, then he will say mentor, and good mentor. So anyone would like to say about the perception of the mentor in his mind? Anyone? What mentor is? Yes, ma'am.
And they are the ones who let others go. Sometimes we make people who are in the habit of letting. So mentors are not true. Everybody who is helping you to grow is a mentor.
Exactly, well said. So mentor helps you to achieve your path by sharing the relevant information with you. So just let me share the importance of the mentor from my life. So it was a time when I was doing graduation from Khan. So at that moment, I wanted to start my career from the sales, marketing, or you say the supply chain stuff. So eventually, God has a better plan. I couldn't secure my seat over there during the campus recruitment, and I was disheartened at the moment. But eventually, I landed through JAS after the graduation. So at the moment of in the initial 2 to 3 months, the job description that I was doing, that wasn't fascinating me, exciting me at the moment. So because of the perception that I have earlier about the 4 years of life, luckily there was the mentorship program that was launched by alumni, and I applied in that, and luckily I got selected. So I got my mentor from the same industry, telco industry. He's the current CTO of the Telstra in Australia. So I shared the whole journey with him that I wanted to start my career from the sales or marketing, but I couldn't secure my job over there. So I will say that dress on myself. So I'm not like making a great move in my career. So what he told me, the advice that he gave me was phenomenal and very practical. The first thing he said, so hey, look. So first thing you need to be gratitude, sense of gratitude in yourself. How many of the guys got the job in your batch because of this COVID? You should be gratitude that even you have a job. The second very practical approach, and the very you say that important thing that some advice that given to me. He just told me that start calculate the impact of your work on the overall business. Whatever you're doing, how it is adding to the business, and start networking with the people of the other department. For example, let's say I work in the technical, start networking with the sales guy or the marketing guy. So with this, you will have overall picture or the comprehensive overview of the business framework, how business is performing. So this thing was very practical because doing this thing, I got the idea that how business runs. Secondly, I got the visibility that is very important for promotion. So the third thing, he just told me that you can just move internally, you can apply from the sales. Rather than getting a job from the other company, you can apply internally and can get a secure job. And the last but not the least, he just told me about, you can just do an MBA program. After that, you can be, the avenue for the job market will be open for you. So these were the very practical lessons or the feedback that given by me. So if I look into, if I look back to my life, so the importance of the mentor that given to me, that the mentor provided me the path, the practical path that how I can achieve my goal, the very realistic one. Secondly, he introduced me in a circle that was phenomenal for me, like a fresh or young professional. So he introduced me the person from the Unilever, P&G, even the IBM or the Apple. So I started networking with those people in the supply chain, that what is the impact of the supply chain during the COVID period. So that gave me, like you say, that insights of the industry. So, and secondly, I would say that the pathway that he showed me, the first applied to the internal, then doing MBA and then shift your career. This was all in all a complete package for me. And even after the program, I am in touch with my mentor. And I would say that for a successful person, you don't need like expertise on a technical. You need to have a very strong career, strong networking. Because one of the quote is that your network is your net wealth. So with this, I would like to conclude my speech, and I would like to give the platform back to the Toastmaster Atif.
Thank you, Toastmaster Soya, for making this event. Our next speaker will be Toastmaster Amina, and her speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster. Can you explain the objectives?
Yeah, so the purpose of our speech is to share the experience of a mentor and a mentee. So it's our level 2 approach.
So, from day one, when Toastmaster Amina entered this room, I have been dumbfounded by her eloquence and her intelligence. She is also a business communication teacher at Namak University. So with a huge round of applause, welcome Toastmaster Amrina Tayum.
Thank you, Toastmaster Soya, for such an eloquent introduction. Today, my topic is also about mentoring, and I have a question for all of you. When did you first hear the term mentoring? Mentoring, when did you first hear it? Let me give you some choices. Did you hear this term when you were in the university, or you were in your first job, or maybe some of you have heard it for the first time after joining the Toastmasters Club? So just think over it. When did you first hear this term mentoring? Yes, I'm waiting for the answer. Yes, Toastmaster Daniel. You were in school. Okay, Toastmaster Daniel was in school. Yes, please. So as a professional, you heard the word mentoring. Anybody else who heard that word? Yes, please.
At Toastmasters.
At the Toastmasters Club. Yes, please. At Toastmasters Club. In the university. Yes, please. In the university. Now we have different opinions coming from different people. Some have heard it in their educational institutions, and I would say, Toastmaster Daniel, you were quite advanced because you heard that word even in school. Most of the people heard it when they were university students. Anyway, still we can say that some heard it when they were professionals. I will tell you when I heard this word and how my perspective of Toastmasters, of mentors, it changed over a period of time. Then you will see there is a paradigm shift from one perspective to the other perspective. My knowledge of the word Toastmaster, it started as a passive vocabulary item, okay? And it had been there for a long time. I never need to use it. I never heard it. I never spoke it. I hardly ever read the word. But then in the year 2013, I first time heard the word mentor and mentoring from a professor who is a Pakistani and he teaches in an American university. And I realized in the West, people use the word mentor very often. Then, again, I heard the same word, mentor, in 2014. This was the year 2014. And interestingly, it was used for me. I was really surprised that in a meeting, one of my ex-students, who was a military officer, and he was 6 years older than me, he pointed out at me and he said, Madam Amrina, she is my mentor. I asked for her advice in all academic matters and try to follow it. I was really flattered. I felt very happy. I'm a mentor. Anyway, still, that word did not come to me back again, though I was living with that happy feeling of being the mentor of somebody older than me, somebody who had more experience in the world and must be a person of high stature. Anyway, in 2015, I started coming across the word mentor again and again, because in 2015, I joined the Faculty of Management Sciences, and here mentoring, mentor, this word was repeatedly used because it's part of leadership. But honestly speaking, I never saw anybody mentoring anybody else. In fact, the reason is that I work in a public sector university,
where we have either jealous colleagues or insecure bosses. So with jealous colleagues and insecure bosses, we don't expect anybody mentoring anybody else. But then in the year 2020, this is the year where my whole perception of mentoring changed. In November 2020, I joined the Toastmasters Club, and since then, I've heard a lot about mentoring. I've actually seen people mentoring others. I've experienced being a mentee of 2 mentors. I saw the real spirit of mentoring at the Toastmasters Club. I observed that mentees, they go to their mentors and they ask them, what should I do? How should I prepare my speech? How should I handle this project? How should I reach the base camp? I found mentors approaching the mentees and telling them, you should do this. So I realized that this word has a lot of potential. And when practically implemented, like in the Toastmasters Club, it can take you to amazing heights. You can become a wonderful speaker. You can become a great leader, provided you are approaching your mentor as a mentee and getting guidance from your mentor, and at the same time, your mentor was giving guidance. And today, I again experienced the power of a mentor. Because today, 3 of my mentees are sitting here. Last week, Toastmaster Anam, she publicly announced and brilliant person, and she's saying so. And today again, I have 2 other students, ex-students. They are no more my students, but they are my friends, Naveen and Veena. And again, they are saying that they have come here because they consider me their mentor, and they believe that if I take them to a forum, they can learn something from there. They can get some benefit from that platform. So I feel what a powerful thing a mentor is, and what a great phenomena mentoring is, if it is implemented. So I look forward to becoming a good mentee and becoming a good mentor if I get that opportunity again. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmasters.
Our next speaker is Toastmaster Sana, and her speech will be directed by Toastmaster Sana. Toastmaster Sana, can you explain the speech?
Sure. Toastmaster Sana is going to present her project 2 of level 1. And project 2 is about evaluation and feedback. She has already given the first speech. In this speech, she is going to incorporate the points which were highlighted in the evaluation last year. Thank you.
I haven't had the privilege to listen to Sana, but I've heard she's an amazing speaker. She's also the manager of Area 9, so with a huge round of applause, please welcome Toastmaster Sana.
Right, left and right. Okay. Good.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Hope you all are having a great session today. And the topic of my today's speech is the power of a personal brand. So, how many of you know who this person is? He is the CEO of McDonald's. And how many of you know who this person is?
Elon Musk.
Yes, Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla. This is because he's a great example of a successful person. So, as you can see, he's too famous on Twitter.
So what does it mean to have a personal brand? The process of marketing yourself, your career, your soft and hard skills in order to create a unique and well-recognized social identity. It's your professional reputation and a gateway to multiple career opportunities. Therefore, a strong personal brand can lead to job placements, greater mindshare, leadership opportunities, a steady stream of ideal clients, social recognition and prestige, association with the market. Jeff Bezos, founder of well-known Amazon, has once said, your brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. It's a combination of your skills and experience that makes you who you are. And it's how you present yourself to the world. The term branding was reserved to businesses, but with the advent of social science and gig economy, it has become fundamental for everyone. If I talk about myself, I have been into personal branding since 2019. And ever since I have been working on building my personal brand, I never have to worry much about job opportunities. They always come to me, I never come to them. And I'm too grateful for that. So what does it mean to have a personal brand for the people who has less to do with the digital world? I had asthma, so I have to take some. So this is a practice. So what does it mean to have a personal brand for the people who have less to do with their digital world, like teachers, doctors, etc. We have seen a surge of adoption of digital tools and digital media order from the last 2 years. And the appropriate answer for this is the catastrophes like COVID-19 pandemic are unpredictable. And unfortunately, they bring some drastic changes with them. And we have the major transition we have seen over the last year is the maximum use of digital media for the sake of survival. Almost every institute and every organization has gone virtual to either a partial or full extent. So with the adoption of the maximum digital tools and medium, the demand for being recognized and being known to your potential audience has also increased. Teachers are teaching virtually, doctors are seeing patients virtually, and even gym trainers are coaching virtually. So what you can do if you are not that much aware about digital tools and how you can brand yourself first. I will give you some examples to you. Like for example, if you are a teacher, you need to have your skills and competencies portrayed on a right platform so the right opportunities can find your doorsteps. And if you are a teacher, you can create your own YouTube channels like this one and teach and give lessons on the subject based on the subject you are a subject matter. I know and I have seen a couple of people who got tremendous job opportunities of teaching abroad by following this approach. And if you are a doctor or any medical practitioner, what you can do, you must need to have your profile listed on the review site, or at least you need to have a Facebook page with a good number of ratings and reviews. How it will help you is when someone searches for a relevant doctor of a similar niche as yours, he will be able to find you on that search term and expose you. So being a doctor, this is what you can do. It will not only increase your patient count, but it will also help you being, a doctor who is known as credible and who is known as a good, a well-reputed doctor who is listed among the top-rated other doctors, as you can see here. And I know some of the entrepreneurs if you are an entrepreneur or a job doing person, you can simply start by creating your profile on social media like LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of the best platforms that I will recommend to all of you, whoever is in his professional life. So you can simply start with LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter and start sharing with the world whatever you best at and whatever the knowledge you have. The aim of personal branding isn't just to be socially recognized. It is, as I said earlier, it is a gateway of multiple opportunities. So moving forward to the most important question, why it is important more than ever to have a personal brand. We have all witnessed a terrible wave of economic crisis from the last year. There is still a major and huge employment deficit in the local market. And the only solution for this problem is globalization. If we look into this opportunity and we perceive wisely, we can turn this crisis into an opportunity. And not only for the means of earning or living, but to let the world know how best we are in multiple spaces. We as Pakistanis are full of talent and skills, and the world knows it already. So let's start creating your personal brand as a strong personal social brand for a better future ahead, because if you are not a brand, you are a commodity. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sana. That was very informative. Our next speaker will be Toastmaster Salman, and next speech will be evaluated by our very special guest, Toastmaster Abrar. Toastmaster Abrar, can you explain the speech objectives?
Yeah, thank you very much. Toastmaster Salman Hussain will deliver his level 2 project number 3, and the basic objective of his project is define how Toastmasters envisions management. The second objective is share some aspect of a previous experience as a project. The topic is you learn, you step up.
Okay, so our next speaker is a very dynamic speaker. He can be very informative and pragmatic, but also very entertaining. He's also the Sergeant at Arms of Rawalpindi Toastmasters Club. So with a huge round of applause, welcome Toastmaster Salman Hussain.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the evening. यार इश्क में अपना मकाम पैदा कर, यार इश्क में अपना मकाम पैदा कर, नया जमाना नए सुबह शाम से। Fellow Toastmasters and guests, how are you? Don't you think the world is so beautiful?
Yes.
Where someone, somewhere, somehow is learning something new to unleash his or her inner potential, to achieve his or her goals in the right direction. Agree? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, how many of you are mentors here in this room? And how many of you are mentors in this room? Mentors. Please raise your hands. And how many of you are mentees? Raise your hands. Thank you very much, everyone, for your responses. We all, maybe or maybe not, knowingly or unknowingly, have been part of this mentor-mentee relationship somewhere, sometimes, somehow, to become a true word, to become a person who wants to see yourself with your career path or to achieve your defined goals in your professional as well as personal life. Let me give you an example. This example is about some cartoon characters. There are 4 animals, and they are in a competition. The first animal is a monkey. The second one is a lion. The third animal is a fox. And you know the fourth one is a crocodile. They have a competition and they have a test. And the test is very simple, to climb a tree. Here comes the question. Who do you think will win this test and climb the tree? Monkey, you're right. The answer is monkey. And wait a minute. And how about the crocodile? Do you think the crocodile can easily climb the tree? The answer would be no. If suppose a certain amount of training or mentoring, could it be possible for the crocodile to climb the tree? Again, the answer would be no. And let's suppose if I tell the crocodile, hey crocodile, listen, you have to climb this tree. And I tell the crocodile again and again, would it be possible? Crocodile can climb the tree? It can at least try. At least try. Again, the answer would be a big no. There are those masters and guests. When I look back to my life journey, there are various mentors who have played a very important role in my life, both professionally as well as personally, in various situations, in certain circumstances. And I must say, that helped me a lot. I am here, standing here in front of you. It is because of my mentors. They pushed me forward and they guided me and they taught me how can I excel in this platform, which is Toastmasters. I think you have the same journey in your life. How many of you have been into the relationship of mentor-mentee? Did you or are you enjoying your relationship? Yes. Look around you. Millions of people are in this relationship. Mentor and mentee. We are here. Why? Because we want to become a better speaker, a great communicator, and an effective leader. Right? That's why we are here. We are giving time from our precious time and schedule to gather here in this platform to become something else. We wish to become a great speaker like famous speakers around the world, and to become a communicator so that at the end of the day we can be able to influence someone else, to create a big difference in someone else's life, whether a friend, a husband, or any other companion or staff member around you. Toastmasters and guests. Toastmasters is really a great platform where we learn from each other by mistakes, by doing whatever we are doing is stuff again and again on frequent basis. And we can see one way we can be a better mentor, a great speaker, and a wonderful leader to make a difference in our lives. Surround yourself by only those who can make a difference in your life, because the time is very precious and time is very short. And the life is very short to live, as somebody shared with me. Life is very short to live. Live it to the fullest and learn whatever you want to learn. And please spare some time for your mentors. to say thank you because they influence your life. They spare their time to make a difference in your life. Remember, when someone mentors, 2 lives are changed. Over to you, Osman.
Our next speaker is Master Rabia Tarek, who is evaluated by the Master Haj. He will explain the objectives.
Toastmaster Rabia will be giving her high performance leadership first speech. And the purpose of this speech is for the members to apply his or her leadership and planning knowledge to develop a project plan, organize a guidance committee, and implement that plan with the help of a team. The purpose of her first speech is for the members to introduce his or her plan and vision. Over to you.
Thank you. This speaker is such a talented multitasker that I had to make a list for her. She is a brilliant speaker, an entrepreneur, a software engineer, a foodie, and she's also doing a brilliant job as the VPPR of Rawalpindi Toastmasters Club. So a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Rabia Tarek.
Thank you, Toastmaster Adit, for such a kind and heartwarming introduction. According to the report published by Nat Geo, National Geographic in 2016, ants write architectural plans into the walls before creating their nests. And ants do that, and termites also do that. And from that, nature has inculcated planning thing into us before getting into the project. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, I'm very proud to announce a birth of a new Toastmaster Club here in Rawalpindi. Thank you. It is named as Twin Cities Toastmasters Club. And I volunteered as an event manager for first demo meeting. Here are the details of our first Twin Cities demo meeting. First is, it will be held on, inshallah, 11th of September and on Saturday. Time will be 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at WorkPad G101 Islamabad. And the main target of this demo meeting is 10 to 12 member conversions. And keynote speaker is yet to finalize. Teamwork. From the very first day, the thing that is inculcated into us is teamwork. Teamwork makes dream work. Without my agile team, I cannot work properly. So I have a beautiful, talented people in my list: Toastmaster Noman Abid from ICT, Toastmaster Akash Kumar, Toastmaster Agrarwani from ICT, me, Toastmaster Rabia, Toastmaster Saral, Toastmaster Saira, Toastmaster Sohail, and Toastmaster Sana. I'll briefly go through all the roles and responsibilities of each member. Now coming to Toastmaster Abid, he was given the task of selecting venue, finalizing it, and searching for it, negotiation and stuff like that. And he has brilliantly done with that. So we are coming to WorkPad G101, and this task is done. Our second team here is Toastmaster Akash Kumar. He is our creative designer. He has a lot of things to do regarding our creative design. First, he has to create posters and videos for our social medias and promotion channels. Then he will design name tags for our organizers, speakers, evaluators. then keynote speakers and guests. He will also do promotional stuff like standees and flyers. He will take out the printouts of the winner certificates that we have, the trophies for keynote speakers and winners, obviously, routing arrows from parking to the hall so that the audience don't roam around here and there. Thank you note for all the participants. And obviously, the main target is to grab members. And for that, we need to have guest book and guest feedback form. Now coming to Toastmaster Sana Sahib. So Toastmaster Sana Sahib will be spreading this word. She will be doing the marketing stuff. First thing she will be doing, she has already developed a marketing plan and marketing timeline for that. So we will run our campaign on Facebook, LinkedIn, and WhatsApp or email. It's still to decide, but WhatsApp, email, or SMS, somewhat this kind of thing. She will be in close contact with Toastmaster Akash to get all the promotional materials that he has been designing. And obviously, she will get in touch with the treasurer for the paid marketing. Obviously, for getting the budget and everything. Then coming to our membership, we have two role players for that, Toastmaster Saira and Toastmaster Sohail. Yes, Toastmaster Sohail. They will, Toastmaster Sohail will create a Google form for memberships. Ladies and gentlemen, just consider that we have two places from where we are getting our members. Number one is Google Form and the other is Facebook or social media. All this Google Form leads will be followed by Toastmaster Sohail, and all the social media leads will be followed by Toastmaster Sai. And they both will be in touch, keep in touch with Toastmaster Akash for all the promotional material and stuff, content. Now coming to Toastmaster Sarah, she is not, I guess, online or she is responsible for agenda and schedule. She will arrange all the speakers, role tag players, evaluators, and also the keynote speaker. She will arrange it and she will coordinate with them. Then we have Toastmaster Anas Mansur. He is responsible for registration desk. He will be there on the registration desk before the meeting and after the meeting. He will be provided with the membership forms, hard copy, and obviously the soft copy. And he will obviously coordinate with the treasurer for early bird discount kind of thing. And take contact information from all the guests or everybody who is coming to the registration desk. Obviously, not everybody will be filling the form, membership form. So we have the guest list with Toastmaster Anas. And then we have Toastmaster Abrarwani. Toastmaster Abrarwani is responsible for food, photography, decor. These all are subjective, but he is responsible for that and setting up routing arrows from the parking areas to the hall so that the audience don't get lost. And I, on the behalf of my team, I invite all of you to the first demo meeting of our Twin Cities Club. And for that, I have invitation cards for you. Please, can you distribute them? Ladies and gentlemen, from the past lesson, we have learned that those who don't plan. So that's all from my side. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Latia. I've just been informed that our primary power is back. So we'll be shifting that, and it's a good time to take a 10 minutes networking. So we'll be having a 10 minutes networking break. So, and you can go outside and
बंदा बार बार naturally देखता है कि मैं सही करूँ तो वो अलग हो जाता है
ऊपर चलेगी बहुत बंद है साइड में
इसको सही बात नहीं हो चाहिए ये अच्छा किया है शुक्र सही बात है ये बहुत अच्छा किया अब बनाने आपके दो स्पीकर्स को और इवैल्यूएटर्स को टाइम देंगे एक्टिव हो गया सुपर एक्टिव एसी पंखा सब हो गया
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a good break. So, moving on to our fifth speaker, that will be Toastmaster Umar, and his speech will be evaluated by our very special guest, Toastmaster Mohammed Bilal. Toastmaster Bilal, can you explain the speech objectives?
The purpose of this project is for the member to observe with time management factors, and the topic of speech is importance of time management.
Okay, our speaker is a very unassuming yet very captivatingly intelligent speaker. He is the Director of Operations in Karachi Steel. With a huge round of applause, welcome Toastmaster Umar Hussain.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Good evening, Toastmaster Atif. I remember my early school days in the morning when I used to have my favorite jam and toast sandwich while watching cartoons on TV. And I'm watching cartoons and I have my sandwich, and the ride is waiting out there for me to take me to school. I used to make sure that I watch all the cartoons till it ends, because I knew the next chance I will get by the evening around 5 p.m. news, and no more entertainment cartoons in between. After coming back from school, I had enough time to have my lunch, take a nap for 2 hours, go out, play cricket with my friends, come back, take a shower, have dinner, and spend time with my family, and again watch TV program without cartoons, and then go to sleep by 9:30. Hello, Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Imagine that time, the only thing in abundance was the time. And now, life has changed so much that we are distracted with social media, Netflix, instant messaging, and not only the kids, all adults, as soon as we start working on our assignment, we start some work, whatever you are doing, like you're creating some media advertisement for your client, or you're working on your assignment, presentation for your office, Facebook, WhatsApp, notifications pops up, and they distract you. Social media, however, is not the only factor for procrastinating. There are other emotional and psychological factors as well. Sometimes people feel fear of taking any task. They might fail. People might not like their work, or sometimes perfectionism. You want to do something so good. Like if I would like to have such a speech that everybody says, wow, and it's not clicking me. It's not clicking my mind. I might end up reaching Saturday morning and I've still not prepared my speech. So these distractions, question is how do we overcome? How we effectively manage time? There are many theories, Pareto 80-20 rule, Eisenhower matrix, but I'll start with the basic one. What I consider that effectively managing time, you need to be attentive, focused, and be able to concentrate. And you can only do that if you have enough sleep. Mostly we have sleep deprivation. And we don't have a healthy lifestyle. We get up late and we are tired. Even during the daytime, we feel that we are tired. Our thinking process slow down when we don't take enough sleep. The second important thing I would say is to bring your task on a piece of paper from your mind. When you have the task on a paper, you'll be able to prioritize them. The first one being the most important, then the second one, then the third one, as per the priority. If you keep everything in your mind, you might perceive that there is so much to do, and you won't be able to start at the first one. So when you bring that everything on the paper, that's exactly specified in Pareto rule 80-20, which specifies that you need to identify 20% of your tasks, the most important ones. Because if you're able to find those tasks, you would manage 80% of the output from the 20% input. Like if you have 10 tasks to do tomorrow, and you can evaluate which one are two are the most important ones. If you identify and take up the first thing in the morning, you might be able to get 80% of day's work done. Now we realize that importance of time management is high because it's the key factor to be successful in life. We also need to see the benefits of time management. Time management brings productivity. If we talk about the organization, let's say we take example of Sri Lankan Airline. They were declared the most punctual airline twice in a row. And the punctuality in airline means less time spent on ground, less overtime, less extra fuel consumption, and they made many passengers reach their destination on time. So not only profitability, but this organization was able to look at the magnitude of these organizations that affected other people to complete their tasks, to be able to deliver, teach at their jobs, at their work, to meet their families. The magnitude was huge in terms of organization. If we look at the individual, how time management helps him and he becomes a factor. If someone is completing this hard task on time, he will be able to spend more time with the family. She will have less pressure on herself or himself, and he will have a positive mind. His positivity will infuse other team members because positivity and energy are contagious, they travel. So when you are energetic, have a positive mind, you will infuse others, and the whole environment, whole team will get the benefit of that one person. So time management is highly important. You must give it a very proper attention. And lastly, I will conclude here with a very important quote that the bad news is time flies, but you are the pilot. Over to this one.
That is very informative. Our final speaker will be Toastmaster Mayukya and will be evaluated by Toastmaster Meher. Toastmaster Meher.
Thank you, Toastmaster. I will be evaluating Toastmaster Mayukya for Project 1, Level 3 of Engaging Humor. The objective of the speech is to determine his style of humor and to apply it to a speech that centers around a simple message. All the best to Toastmaster Mayukya. Over to Toastmaster.
Mastermind. So our last speaker is, we want to make him the next PewDiePie, so subscribe to his YouTube channel. So with a huge round of applause, welcome Toastmaster Humayun Khan.
Have you ever heard a pathetic speech in the disguise of a humorous speech? Oh my goodness, there are some souls who are listening to me and they are able to understand me. It's a good sign for me. It means that I have become a public speaker. But no, my dear friends, this is not like this. Distinguished guests and my, what should I say? No. My trustworthy Toastmasters. Now I'm going to talk about the private goals of a public Toastmaster. And I hope you haven't understood it at any cost. Have you understood what I have said? No. I was expecting the same. Because you know that I am an English teacher, and the best English teacher is the one who is trying to confuse the students. Apologize to me. Here I was listening to many speakers. They were talking about mentors. What the hell is this mentor? I was listening to them carefully and I was getting disturbed. Who was that mentor who brought me here? I was silently sitting in the last row, as I used to sit throughout my educational career, in my school, in my college, in my university. I used to sit in the last row. But still you are saying that you are praising your mentor. How can I praise my mentor who has brought me here and who is asking me to deliver a humorous speech? As you know that I am not a joker, but still I have to act like a joker. Yes. Do you see a joker in me? Yes. Yes. And there is no allowed to ask any question. A good teacher is one who does not allow his or her students to ask difficult questions. In this way, you can become a brilliant teacher. I don't know what I am saying, but I listen and I understand this is called humorous speech. Is it called humorous speech? No. Why are you laughing then? Oh, there is someone who is understanding me. I like your video. Apart from jokes, these are the mentors who are coming into our life to bring about a complete change in our lives. But again, I would say that I was living a wonderful and happy life throughout my career, but still I hate my life because I have to deliver speeches. Speeches are not an easy task to deliver. But again, these are the mentors. I know that now you are getting confused. Whether I am praising the mentors or whether I am talking against their services. But I really love my mentors. At the end of the day, they are going to help me in improving my personality. Whatever I am, you can see. Just because of my mentors. The credit goes to me, not my mentors, because I am not performing well in my life, as they were expecting from me. I will try to go to that particular level with the help of my mentors. One beautiful incident happened in my life, especially in my educational career. As you can observe that how much intelligent I am. Can you observe this thing? Yes. You are still misleading. One question that most of the time irritated me in my educational career. Would you like to let me know what can be that question? Yes. Everyone was asking about my marks. And this is the question which I don't want to disclose with anyone. But everyone, wherever I was going, when I entered in school, I was a little kid, but I managed to cope with the situation. But when I entered into the college, they asked me that you can't get admission here. But I tried my level best and I got admission. And then I again went to university. Ma'am was also there. And they were also asking about the marks. I was trying to hide them. But ultimately, I disclosed my marks over there. But here, you can see that in Toastmaster, no one is going to ask you about your marks. You have to only perform well. You have a great competition with your own personality. You don't have anyone else who is going to help you except your mentors. Yes. Last but not the least, throughout my educational career, I was helped by my friends, by my colleagues. So here I am also availing the same opportunity in form of my evaluator. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mike. That was confusing yet entertaining. So with that, we have come to the end of our prepared speech segment timer. Toastmaster Anand, have all the speakers qualified?
Yes, all the speakers have qualified. Toastmaster Shoaib Akhtar has taken 6 minutes 35 seconds. Toastmaster Amina Hughes spoke for 6 minutes 47 seconds. Toastmaster Sana Shahid 7 minutes 25 seconds. Toastmaster Salman Hussain 7 minutes 15 seconds. Toastmaster Rabia Tariq 7 minutes 23 seconds. Toastmaster Umar 6 minutes 3 seconds. Toastmaster Humayun 7 minutes 11 seconds.
Okay, so you can vote for who you thought was the best speaker on the vote slips that you have been provided. And with that, let's move to our evaluation segment. This segment will be hosted by someone who needs no introduction, but I'll introduce him. He's a widely hilarious and entertaining Toastmaster, and by the way, he was the winner of the last week's Speakathon. So with a huge round of applause, welcome Toastmaster Danya Shukti.
Give you a minute or two to you guys to vote.
Yep. And few people with the names for the voting purpose.
बिल्कुल व्हाट्सएप से लेते हैं मुझे थोड़ा सा टाइम चाहिए
So we will be showing the names of the speakers and their names. So please vote for the best speaker you think that was the best speaker today. And Toastmaster Saira, which is sharing that.
ये तो evaluate हिस्ट्री हमने अभी वो हिस्ट्री वाली छोड़ी ये
Yeah. What do you think is best? Yeah.
I'm not playing.
Yeah.
We had Toastmaster Shoaib, Toastmaster Dina, Toastmaster Sana, Toastmaster Rajat, Toastmaster Salman, Toastmaster Umar, and Toastmaster Humayun. You will please vote just right on the best they think. And I'll start with 36. So, assalamu alaikum everyone. At the start, Toastmaster Hussain checked your energy. Then Toastmaster Atif checked your energy. Now it's my obligation to check your energy at the end of the meeting. So, who here enjoyed today's meeting? Say yes.
Yes.
You got it at the second time, you got it the second time I went. So, as all of you are energetic, let me ask you a question. Why are we here at Toastmasters? Why are we here at Toastmasters?
Here to learn from people around us, learn from their experiences. Thank you for learning.
Something said to me that I must come. I'm here to improve myself. And most of us are here to improve ourselves, to bring out the best version out of ourselves. And the most important part in playing this role of bringing out the best version out of myself is played by evaluations in Toastmasters. Because what's the point of all these speeches, all those table topics, all those Toastmaster of the evenings, when you can't improve yourself? So the most important session is the evaluation session. And I will be the host of today's evaluation session. I am Toastmaster Daniel Ahmed and today's general evaluator. So, without any delay, let's get right into the evaluation. Our first speaker was Toastmaster Shoaib, whose speech will be evaluated by one of an amazing Toastmasters who has joined us all the way from Karachi, from Dallas Toastmasters Club. With a huge round of applause, please welcome Toastmaster Laiba Vyas.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Daniel. Toastmaster Daniel, can you hear that I'm audible and visible?
Yes, Toastmaster Laiba, you will have to, yeah.
Move the mic a little bit towards yourself.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. So today, Toastmaster Shoaib delivered his Project 2 from level 2. The moment he started speaking, I was thinking, What an amazing speaker he is. Assalamu alaikum, dear fellow Toastmasters and wonderful guests. Mentors are those who make us fly to the sky, and we cannot deny the importance of mentor in our life. To evaluate such an amazing speaker, I need horns and wings. So Toastmasters Shoaib, you started your speech in a very energetic manner. Clarity was there. Spoken language was clear and easily understood by audience. And good usage of grammar was there. No bad usage of grammar was not there. Then you were comfortable with the audience while speaking. Toastmaster Shoaib, you shared your personal story that how your mentor helped you in your personal life. Toastmaster Shoaib, I suggest you, please try to move while speaking. This shows your transition in your speech. The speech was well crafted. Speech was well crafted. You may incorporate drama in your speech. For example, you said that what makes you a successful person? Good mentor, good mentor, good mentor. It could have been said as, what makes you a successful person? Good mentor, and good mentor. So try to incorporate drama to create interest in your speech. Then try to incorporate hand gestures while speaking. I noticed that you were using only one hand while speaking. Please use both the hands while speaking. Eye contact was also there. Overall, I really enjoyed your speech with good ending and good starting, and wishing you all the best for your future project. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Laiba, first of all, for coming in this speakathon and for an amazing evaluation. So, once again, a round of applause for Toastmaster Laiba. Next, I had the speech of one of my favorite speakers, and he will be evaluated by one of my favorite evaluators and speakers, the big guy himself, the president of Rawalpindi Toastmasters Club. Please, with a huge round of applause, welcome Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Daniel, for such a big welcome. All right, so when I listened to the speech of Amina Q today, there was one word that comes in my mind. Wow, wow, wow. From the day first when she was here with me at Toastmasters Club, she's already a teacher, but she was not that confident. She don't know how to use the stage. She don't know how to look into the eye of the audience. She don't know how to use hand gestures. I can see a 360 transformation from day first till now in her speech. And that's the beauty of Toastmaster. Just like when a small kid is born, with the passage of time, he learns which language he needs to speak by listening to people around him. Same way, we at Toastmasters learn how to actually improve our speaking by listening to people around us, of course, by doing some efforts on ourselves as well. So a lot of applause for Toastmasters. The first one was the prompts. He actually showed us through these cards that what is mentor to you guys, or when you listen to the word mentor. So using prompts is advanced level technique which we learned at this stage, which is a gameplay. Because when you show some cards to the audience, they can engage because pictures have some power. Secondly, when she started with the question, so this way, when you start to speak to the question, you actually connect with the audience. So for example, if someone is not listening or someone is using the cell phone, then you ask the question, so you can actually connect with the audience and make them
realize that you need to answer this. Third thing, which she used to struggle in the past, was the eye contact, but today that was amazing. She was looking in with the eyes of the audience. She was not looking at the back or left or right. She was looking right at the audience. That was a great improvement. The best part, which I see in very few Toastmasters, is the smile. Because the smile throughout the speech is something which, of course, audience can connect. And secondly, it lies into the part of soft skills. I'm from the call center industry, and we are being taught to use smile with the voice because it has an impact. And the great part was the personal storytelling, because when you actually tell stories, you can actually connect with the audience. Because when we were small, our mother used to tell us different stories. So our brain is actually programmed in such a way that we love stories. Overall, it was a great speech. Few areas of improvement, voice spacing, because she was having a monotone. She can actually integrate or have some variation device that would have more impact. And the body language was good, but when he says the power of mentor, she could have used this space. Overall, amazing speech. I thoroughly loved it and looking forward to listening to more.
Thank you, Mr. President, for such an evaluation. Next, we have an amazing evaluator, an amazing speaker, and an amazing singer. We will be evaluating Toastmaster Sanak Shah's speech with a huge round of applause. Welcome Toastmaster side of the way.
PM Sana is a very confident speaker. I loved her content. The topic was amazing. When the topic or the content is strong, you can always embellish it with the rest of the communication tools. So the importance of content is supreme, and I love that about her topic. She gave us the spectrum as well. On one side, she told us about Elon Musk, which everybody knew. And on the other side, she kept, whom did she keep? Because that was the importance. That was someone who is unknown. So that clarified your message. What is the importance of personal branding? With the speech, she taught us a good lesson today as well. It was kind of a brief workshop for all of us, how we can brand ourselves, what is the importance of personal branding. So throughout her speech, I could not resist myself from thinking that this is something that I'm lacking. I do not have a personal brand. I should also do it. So that was kind of a mentoring lesson for us as well. And I would like to say that her content and her topic, it resonated with Allama Iqbal's poetry when he said, "Apni duniya aap paida kar agar zindon mein hai, sirre Adam hai, zamir khud fa kahan hai zindagi." So she also told us about that, how people can position themselves, how they can portray their image amongst the masses. I personally think that she can reduce the use of slides, because slides somehow force you to read from the screen. So that's natural with everyone. When I use slides as well, I tend to see towards the projector. So that takes away the attraction from your personal connection with the audience. So that should be reduced. Body language and stage movement, of course, can be improved. However, considering that this is only her third speech, and we have gone ahead in our levels, still we face the problem of stage movement. So that is still commendable. And the last point was the agility. So last time she talked about empathy. That was a topic which has a very inward projection. And this time she has talked about personal branding, which has a very outward projection. So I like the choice of her topics. I personally think this is her strength, and she should build more upon it. Thank you.
And we continue to our next evaluator. I'm a fan of his poetry, I'm a fan of his energy, I'm a fan of his speeches. He is all the way from Star Toastmasters Club to evaluate Toastmasters Samman Hussain's speech. He is in a huge round of applause. Welcome.
Toastmasters fellows and distinguished guests. Toastmasters Salman Hussain was presenting his pathway persuasive influence level 2 project number 3 about mentoring. Toastmaster Salman started his speech with a topic: you learn, you step up. The first and the foremost thing that actually plays an important role while you are giving a speech is the topic. And that topic was actually relatable with that of the mentoring project. Hats off to you. In the beginning of a speech, you mentioned the poetry of Iqbal. So at the start of a speech, in order to engage the audience with yourself, you can either say a question, a quote, a silly act that could engage audience, and you literally did well by saying the poetry because that was also relatable. Then the third nice thing which I literally liked about your speech is the addition of story in the middle and the body of your speech. And then adding further flavor, asking question that what will happen if you ask crocodile to climb on the tree? And you are having answers from the audience. That was actually something literally good about your speech, that you are engaging your audience with yourself. Now let's move towards the things you need to work out. Number 1, you start with the poetry. If I would have been at your place, I would have added personification. Dayare ishq mein apna maqam paida kar. Naya zamana, nayi subho sham paida kar. So that could have added some flavor in order to attract audience more towards yourself. Then after that, you should have started your speech while you're saying, hello, how are you? You shouldn't say like this. Just immediately, the Toastmaster fellows and distinguished guests, and carry on with that. Then, while telling the story, to me, if I would have been at your place, I would have added a story that was actually my story with respect to the protege, which was also the requirement of the project, which actually missing in your speech. So, for example, if you are talking about, talking to the crocodile, will you climb on the tree? First of all, he will eat you up. Then you will think to climb on the tree. Well, the overall body movement was not resonating with that of speech. Someone, somehow. Actually, if you're like, have you ever tried mentoring in your life? Someone, maybe somehow you have tried like this. So that could have added more flavor. So summarizing all that, you are great in selecting topic. Beginning was nice. The project purpose achieved. But add personification. Well, add your own story into the speech to make it more relatable. And hats off to you. Keep inspiring us. Thank you very much.
What is the word you are hearing the most? Mentor. Let me welcome on stage my mentor, a person with amazing energy. Too much energy, I would say. So, with an energetic round of applause, welcome Toastmaster Akash Kumar.
My fellow Toastmasters, Assalamu alaikum. No, I'm not going to ask how are you, because I've already witnessed the energy from your wa alaikum assalam. My fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, Toastmasters, where leaders are made. And let's appreciate Toastmaster Rabia for implementing her leadership learning from Toastmasters in her plan. A round of applause for Toastmaster Rabia.
Toastmaster Rabia gave her high performance leadership speech on her high performance leadership project. So the best thing I observed in your speech is your speech organization. You started with a quote that ants write architecture plan in their wall of the building. Then you described us the roles and responsibility of each role played. And then you closed your speech with the quote, the person who fails to plan, plans to fail. So kudos to you on your speech organization. Now, by the way, how many of you received this invitation? Everyone. So this is the second thing I would like to commend you. You engage the audience even at the end of your speech. Now the audience will remember you through this, that you are the pioneer of this project. And you gave them some takeaway. When they go home, they will remember you. So that was the second best thing I observed in this speech. But there are a few areas of improvements. Since this is a leadership project, I would like to recommend you what I just made, a vision statement in your speech. Vision is the anchor point of any strategic plan. What purpose? You devise a plan, but what purpose you are going to achieve through this plan? That is the vision. And the turn his vision into reality. So I would like to recommend you to add vision into your project. Another thing I would like to recommend you is to improve your eye contact. When you are giving a presentation, just remember that you have to remember the key points so that the eye contact is not loose. So overall, it was a wonderful speech with a good speech organization. There are a few areas of improvements in the vision statement and eye contact. So best of luck for your Twin Cities project. Looking forward to listening more. Over to you.
Collaboration. Next, we have a smiling face. I have always seen him smiling, but don't get distracted by his smile. He is the black belt in karate and an international world medalist also. He will be evaluating the speech of Toastmaster Umar Hussain. Please, with a huge round of applause, welcome Toastmaster Bilal.
Thank you so much for the generous introduction. The best way to start any speech to grab the attention of the audience is you could start by asking a question. You can start with immediately starting with the story, or you can put any suitable quote for that story. And I love the way Toastmaster Umar started his speech with the story of his childhood, the cartoon. That makes us a common reality, that grabs our attention, that how he felt and how he felt in childhood, that how he bought the story. So that was an amazing thing to grab the attention. You were confident, your hand gestures, your use of stage, that was great. I really love it. And the way you make a posture, that how you are going to watch it, that was an amazing. I couldn't be able to even expect. Having observed your speeches, you are kind of a bit reserved, but you did make me a surprise that how you can utilize your body. That was an amazing thing. I really love it. So another thing, the time, as your project was the time management, tell us about the importance of time. That was how can we use time and the techniques and how by making the list of the tasks and how can we prioritize these tasks. And the way you tell us the 20% of the task that can be, and I really utilize this event, and that is amazing. You all people can use this technique. That would be you will get the wonder of result in that. So after that, you told us about the benefit of time management by giving us the example of airline. That is how they are creating human life. That was an amazing thing. So there was a few things to improve that could have been improved. Like I would say, you have a great personality. No, and with a beautiful face, I really admire. And just putting a smile into it, you will get the amazing result. And even while asking at the start of the speaking, while you could have asked a question that tell us about your childhood memory, and we all love the cartoon. So maybe it could have been more better. And eye contact, you may increase the eye to all the audience, and frequent movement you can utilize your movement purposefully. Overall, it was great. The takeaway was great. That was an action plan. The bad news is the time flies, but you are the pilot. Thank you so much.
Or are not bored. Am I right?
Yes.
You guys seem bored.
No.
Little bit louder. Are you guys bored?
No.
Okay, I think you guys are down now. So let me end the evaluation session. Our last evaluation is being done by an amazing person, a person who helped me improve the lot, a person who won our BB evaluation contest and then was the runner-up at Area 9 evaluation contest. With a huge round of applause. Everyone in our BB Toastmasters Club is seeing her after a long time. Toastmaster Meheldevi.
Thank you so much, Madam Moderator, for the generous introduction. And let me add my disclaimer that I am appearing on the stage after a very prolonged absence and therefore a lot of lack of practice. So please forgive me if I'm not able to entertain you as much as our worthy speaker, Toastmaster Humayun Kiani, regaled us with his absolutely natural and amazing, enthusiastic sense of humor. A round of applause for Toastmaster Humayun. First of all, delivering a speech with humor or infusing any speech with humor is one of the most difficult tasks. As we will all know, watching a comedian, trying to be funny, but I'm amazed and so impressed by the way Toastmaster Humayun easily came up with such relevant examples and ways of involving the audience in his speech. There was an amazing sense of spontaneity, and he began his speech with a question, self-deprecating humor. Do you think I'm going to deliver a pathetic speech or a humorous speech? Or have you ever heard a pathetic humor speech? And I love the way how he emphasized key words to bring out the humor in his ideas. Pathetic. I used to sit at the back of the class. And this spontaneity and constant interaction with which he peppered his delivery kept the dialogue going, kept the enthusiasm going, kept the audience engaged, which is most important in delivering a humorous speech. In fact, I did not feel like I was standing at a Toastmasters club. I felt like I was at a stand-up comedy club. Kudos to you. One thing I would also like to add is that I loved how he built upon the running theme of the day, which was mentorship. And I think that he did that on the spot, and he deserves a great deal of praise for that. Now, of course, Toastmaster Humayun is already a YouTube superstar, but to help him get to the next level where everybody in the world knows his name, I have some few humble suggestions. First of all, Toastmaster Humayun, I would like to suggest if you could have delineated your theme a little more clearly, the content, the organization of your content, the structure, because I could feel that there were two running themes in your speech. One on the content of giving a humorous speech and the woes that it brings. And number two, mentors, and whether we should actually be thankful to them for bringing us up here and making us face the music, or we should actually be thankful and grateful that they have allowed us to face our fears. Those great themes. Also, I would like to advise if you could use purposeful body gestures and also enhance your vocal variety a little more so that the audience is further involved in your delivery. Thank you so much for your entertainment, and over to you, General.
क्या पीने के लिए तो जूस ही देते हैं, फिर कुछ खाने के लिए सोचते हैं।
Once again, you can see the picture and what who you think did the best evaluation.
आपके में कुछ है?
Okay. Instead of Toastmaster, and instead of Toastmaster, Akash Kumar. Please everyone vote for the best evaluation. I will take the report. Vote here. First, Master Rashid, can I have some comment?
You can come here. Yeah.
Top three evaluators. Are the top three.
Today we had
इसमें कोई ऐसी बात नहीं। मेरा तो यही ख्याल है, आपको ये लग रहा है, ठीक लग रहा है, क्लिक कर रहा है?
Transfers. Only TM Sohaib uttered 3 times, TM Abrina 1 time, TM Sana 3 times, TM Rabia only 1 time. There is. One time, and TM Bilal 2 times, and TM Meher 1 time.
Toastmaster Rehana, can I have the report of Grand Idea?
Toastmaster Rehana,
Toastmaster Rehana, are you here?
you can take the report from others. You can take the report from others' name.
So, as we are way above the time limit, I will shortly evaluate the whole meeting in a few minutes. So, the meeting started at 6:40. That is a good check. It should start at 6:30. Then the banner was here, the word of the week was here, the food start. This meeting was started by Toastmaster Hussain, Surgeon at Arms, and he handed over to our president, who started us by engaging everyone and telling us a story about environment, something, and it brought the energy out of everyone. Then we had Toastmaster and Hassan handing over the meeting to the Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Atif, who did an amazing job at his role today. He welcomed every speaker one by one with proper introduction of the speaker. So kudos to you. And we had the speakers, amazing speeches. I loved each and every one of the speeches. So congratulations to all of the speakers who have completed their pathway or completed their projects. Next we had Toastmaster Atif handing Before handing over to me, we had a refreshment break where we all ate or drank something. Then he handed over the meeting to me after 2 speeches, and my session is going on right now. A few improvements that I would like to add, that once the speaker is on the stage and he has started to speak, try not to disturb him, because it is very distracting when he hears someone in the audience who is speaking, or when he hears someone walking. So try not to distract him, especially the prepared speakers, because they have put in a lot of work in preparing their speech. Second, the word of the week should not be placed behind the speaker. Instead, it could be on the left side or on the right side. So we could have used it a little more. And I only heard 1 or 2 people using the word of the week, which was not a good thing. Including myself, I myself did not use the word of the week. So try to use word of the week more and more, so we can improve our vocabulary. So I'll end my general valuation here and hand over the meeting to the Toastmasters President, Toastmaster Hassan.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Daniel. Without wasting further time, let's talk about the results. Before that, I think I'm missing something. Let's have feedback from the guests. So by standing over there, by sitting over there, just give us a small feedback. How you like the meeting? How was your meeting?
Yes, it was fantastic. I really enjoyed all the speeches, and the outcomes would be like the feedback, or you can say like the results. Like what were the summary of, I really like I really love the speech of Ms. Amri, like what she said, like mentor and about that. So I really love that. I really like her speech.
Thank you. Looking forward to having our meeting again. Definitely. Thank you.
That I needed something to other than my meeting activities. I really needed some platform. I cannot find that.
Perfect.
About experience with even if you a little bit, you definitely
Inshallah.
Sorry. Yes, I was not fully understanding what I was going to do. Very brilliant guys. With all the speeches. I'm not really there. I apologize. I will get into the beautiful smile. So amazing. Your energy is amazing. You guys are fantastic. I would suggest though, if you could possibly give us a bit more information as the new members come in or guests. So, because I didn't know what he was talking about. He was talking about the border on back there.
Word of the day.
Yeah, I have no idea what that was. And it would have been nice to have no one being in the know.
That's a great suggestion. I'll ask Shiv to actually contact you after this meeting and help you with all these details. Thank you.
To be honest with you, I've been forced to come to this one. My husband attended a session Toastmasters from afar, and he attended 22 sessions, but he loved it. And I knew that he was only 5 months old. I was thinking at that, I'm thinking about that standard for my time. I really enjoyed the like Toastmasters speakers, everyone. I really enjoyed their meditations and reflect about how to speak and first we need to improve that. I think I really enjoyed when they just talk about the improvements, and I definitely when I come again, I think my daughter, she's 50 and she's very loud, and I hope she can eventually learn a lot from here. And I like the one quote, the best quote, which I really do not take ahead, is the time flies by, but you're the pilot. So I hope so it will help me, and I really enjoy it.
Okay, so I enjoyed the meetings, and I love the everything. I have two suggestions. I was noticing that the bell was missing from that answer. Normally we have bell, we just press it. And secondly, when I came to co-work, I wasn't sure where the Toastmaster was. I wasn't seeing any directions. So I just came up and then I just went around there and was saying people no comment on it. Then I just came out. That's the second word. Sure, thank you.
Always as we had a lovely was even a great one that I even journal as well. 3 days for that. We learned a lot.
Thank you so much.
It's all the way learning. All the way learning. Whenever we spend the video of RTC, as I said, I'm proud of actually what you people are doing with this mixed set of online and I will literally appreciate the kind of the environment, the overall ambience was excellent to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's time for the results. So, any guesses who is the second runner-up for the Interface Speaker Award today? Second runner-up. Any guesses? Any other guesses? I think someone leaked the results. It's so fast over. Second. The first runner-up. One more for Raja. It's first runner-up, not first position. First. So the first runner award goes to Toastmaster Mayo. And now it's time for the winner. Any guesses? You want to go first?
Credit goes to my two mentors, Toastmaster Hassan and Toastmaster Akash.
So, second runner-up, best evaluator. One more from there.
Bilal. Bilal.
Toastmaster Hassan. The award goes to Toastmaster Sarah. Any white dishes for first runner for best evaluator award? Toastmaster Bilal. Toastmaster Hassan. Akash. And the first runner award goes to Toastmaster Abrar Wani. Nice. So, what do you think is the winner of Best Evaluator Award for today's Speakathon? One for Meher. And the award goes to Toastmaster Meher.
Thank you so much for the time.
with this, I would like to adjourn the meeting. Looking forward to have you all in the next meeting. Next meeting, we're going to have online with another company, RTC. So we'll let you know. And with this, we're going to adjourn the meeting and let's get together for the group photo. Thank you.
For the guests, my trophy. I said they want to go out with the trophy.
Sure, we have certificate for each other. Okay, sure.